Back on the road, back on the road, and back on the road, back on the road. City cycle.
Hi folks, so thank you for stopping by. If you would like to learn how to build a camper van like this yourself, then please check out my other YouTube videos. So if you guys have found these videos helpful, you can help me out in a big way by picking up a copy of my first ever album that my brother and I recorded in Nashville late last year. Any proceeds will go to future recording projects, as well as taking the band on tour and hopefully promoting it. I'll leave a link in the description and talk a little bit more about it at the end of this video. Alright, so the first things we're going to do is we're going to remove the existing plywood in the back. As you can see, I've made it go on this side, and this means we can get our insulation, our wiring in behind here. This one's been riveted in to place. These are rivets here, which means I need to get a drill bit in there that's slightly bigger than the hole, and I need to drill through that rivet to knock it out. Some are just screws, so it's just simply a case of unscrewing it. So I need a drill bit which is designed to drill out metal, and it's slightly bigger than the hole. I've got some glasses here, some protective glasses. As you can see, you're getting lots of shards of metal coming off here. A glove to protect your hands, and also I like to wear these just because the hammer makes a lot of noise. Okay, for anyone who's not used a drill before, I'll just quickly show you. These are what's called your drill bits. As you can see, mine's very well organised. You can get a box like this pretty cheap for about 20 quid, and you'll get all sorts of different size drill bits, which you will need. You can get different ones which are designed to drill through metal, such as these ones. You can get some which are designed to drill through stone and things like that, masonry drill bits they're called. And you also get wood drill bits, which are designed to drill for wood. You can also get ones which will give you larger circular cutouts like that one. You can get hole saw pieces like this, which we'll use later to get our nice circular cuts to fit our lights into. So to change a drill bit in your drill, you need to go to your chuck, which is this bit here. You need to loosen it off by turning it anti-clockwise. It might be a little bit stiff, but as you do that, you'll notice that this bit will become wider. And then when you put your new drill bit in, just feed it all the way in. Obviously I'm doing this with one hand, so it's going to be terrible. And then you just tighten it up by tightening it the other way. You should hear a few clicks, and tighten that down, you're ready to go. Cool, so to remove our rivets, I'm going to start with a drill bit, place it into the hole, and start drilling until the head comes off. There we go. Then I'm going to pull the plywood off once I've done all of these heads here, and then we're going to remove the piece of metal that's left behind it. As you can see, all our heads have been taken off, so now it's just a case of pulling the plywood and it will come away. We've still got some silicone here which you can either cut off with a Stanley knife, or you can go ahead with a hammer and a chisel and just break it away from there. You might need one of these just to help pry it apart. Okay, so now we're just left with these. So what you could do is you can take a hammer to it, see if it will pop out to the other side. If it doesn't, we need to go to plan B. So with our glasses on, because you're going to get a lot of metal strands coming off of here, we're going to take our drill bit, which is about probably just a little bit bigger than what's left of the rivet here. We're going to hold it against the hole of the rivet, and we're going to basically just grind it down until it's flush. And when I say flush, I mean it's going to be flat with the metal panel here. And then we're going to take a centre punch, which is one of these, which you can get in one of those drill bit accessory boxes. We're going to put it in the hole, and we're just going to tap what's left back through the hole that already exists there. There we go. Cool, so all the ply sides are out now, as you can see. This flooring just lifts out, it's actually not screwed into the bottom. So just having a quick look around, you've got things like the wheel arches here, which when you're doing your layout you're going to have to factor in that they're going to be taking up a little bit of space. Same on this side. So here I was going to have my gas bottles and things like that, so I need to make sure that I can definitely fit that into those spaces. Here is another example. This actually gives me access to the engine here. I was going to have a bench seat across this part, so what I'm going to have to do is make sure that that is removable somehow, so when repairs are needed we can make access to that point. In my Citroen Relay that we had, the housing to the lights was actually right at the back here, so I had to cut out holes so we could then gain access to the lights if ever we need to change a light bulb. So do think of those things when you're finishing off your layout. Cool, now all our plies out, it's time for a quick clean. Make sure we get all these little pieces of metal out, because if we don't and we put some wood over it, it will just rust over time, and you don't want rusting particles underneath your floor. I'd also recommend not wearing flip-flops for this job. Nice metally feet. Now that we've brushed this all off and we've got most of the debris out, we're now going to give this a good wash with some warm water. We're going to be putting all of our insulation, all our cladding and everything on top of this, so we want to make sure this is all clean now, so that as the years go by all this mud and everything isn't rotting away underneath. So just quickly, if you've got a panel like this which is on the side of your door, it's just simply a case of pulling it away. They've just got these little plastic fixings here that go into these holes, and all you need to do is just pull these off, and then we can get our insulation behind there. Also, I've just gone round and I've given all areas a good clean, because we're going to be using some spray adhesive for the insulation. We want a good contact. So if your plywood was riveted into place like mine was, you can now pick up the end pieces of the rivets that would have dropped down behind your panels. Now that we've removed the panels, you can now get access into there and pick them out, and also clean out any of the metal shards that would have come away when we were drilling through, because they all rust behind the insulation. So give it a good clean. So one of the last things to do on the clear up is we need to go to these holes here where the rivets were. If there's any metal that's actually protruding out, I'm going to take a metal file and we're just going to very lightly take it back, being careful not to scratch the metalwork here, because we don't want to remove any of the paintwork, because that will allow the bare metal to then rust. Alrighty, so next step is to apply some red oxide to all the holes where the plywood was previously put into place. So as you can see here, where our plywood was riveted in, or yours may have been screwed, it's allowed some bare metal to be revealed, and what will happen over time is when that comes into contact with moisture, it will allow it to rust. So this red oxide is simply a protective layer to stop the moisture getting in. So we're going to go around to all the holes and do that. Just make sure you give it a really good stir, and just follow the instructions on the back of the tin, but you need to give it enough time to dry. You might need to give it 1 or 2 coats. Cool, so following this layout that I had previously drawn, I've now taken that layout and I've put it into place using a felt tip pen with all the correct measurements, and just drawn it out across the base of the van. And I've started putting everything in place just to double check it would fit, which was good, because my toilet that's here was originally supposed to be there, which obviously doesn't fit because there's a wheel arch there. So we've moved that over, and I'm going to make that a removable feature in case people want to use that space for storage instead. I've also got a problem because my van battery is actually underneath the power management unit here and the leisure battery, so I've had to try and think of a way to make those removable in case we ever need to get to the van battery for maintenance. And also here as well, we've got the problem with the wheel arch again, taking up more room, making these jerry cans higher. So it's just a case of working around all these things, but it's a good idea to do this just to see if everything works. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Please like and subscribe and check out our other content on all things camper. As I mentioned before, I've just recorded my first album. We'll need all the help I can get, so I'll leave you with an album preview review for now, and a link in the description if you'd like to pick up a copy.
She does all that she can. Yes, anymore. Time, I'm heading west, yeah, till I cross the $6 short, but my soul is clean. I need one more dime. The fruit machine swirling waves on me. Yeah. You put their cold and harsh demeanor, it'll soon come back around. So don't let the bastards get you down. Keep on running through the heat, where you gotta keep on living